Happy Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. What I need you to do is make sure that you have your sheet that we tore out of our workbook yesterday on your desk right now. You should have gotten it out of your math folder. And we're going to make sure that our page at the bottom says 247. So make sure that your workbook page is on page 247. All right. And your title is going to say multiply by a multi-digit number. And we know that we're going to be able to do that today. If you read our I can statement, it's also on the board. It's going to say I can use multiplication properties to multiply a 4-digit number by a 1-digit number. And today is going to be the day we actually do that. Now our essential question says, how can I communicate multiplication? And we know that it's the same as what's in your book. Before we actually begin looking in the book and answering our examples, we're going to look at the Investigate the Math. And I want you to just watch as I model this. I'm going to choose a number between 5 and 9, and I'm going to find the product or the answer of that number and 427. So I'm just going to do 5. And I'm going to take my hundreds blocks, and I have 100, 200, 300, 400, 20, and then 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm going to do this 5 times because my problem that I chose was 5 times 427. So I'm going to model this 4 more times for a total of 5 really quickly. And I guess I'll have to go down to the bottom. And then I need 7 ones on each cheek. So it's 1. Oh. Well, I'm going to have 7 ones on each. So I know that I have 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7 ones. So that's 7. I'm going to write my ones here. I have 7 ones here, 7 ones here, 7 ones here, and 7 ones in this group, and 7 ones in this group. So I know that's 7, 14, 21, 28, and 7 times 5 is going to give me 35 ones. Now, if I look at a place value chart, I know I can't write 35 in my ones place. So I'm going to trade in most of those ones for tens, and I know that I have 3 in my tens place and 35. So what I'm going to do is trade in 35 ones for 3 tens blocks. And I'm going to keep 5 ones. All right, so I'm going to clear off the board a little bit here of writing. So at this point, I've cleared off my board of all but 5 of my ones, but in exchange, I got 3 more 10s. And I realized this would be easier if I had more workspace. Now I can count my 10s, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I know that I can trade in 10 of those for another hundreds. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. In exchange, I get another hundreds block. Now I can count my hundreds, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21. So that's going to give me 2 groups of thousands because it's 21 hundreds. So I can trade in 10 of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And in exchange, I'm going to get 1,000. And then I can do that again for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 for another 1,000. So I'm left with 2 thousands, 100, 3 tens, and 5 ones. So 5 times 427 should be 2,135. Now I'm going to check my work and see if 5 times 427 comes out to that. And I get 2,135, so I know my work is correct. Now, like I said before, that takes a lot of time, and we don't just walk around with base 10 blocks a lot. So we're going to look at how to do this today without those blocks. Now that we've looked at using base 10 blocks to model multiplication, we're going to look at some problems and solving them without the blocks. So above Math in My World, and you can only see this on your page that came from your book, it says you can use partial products to multiply by a multi-digit number. So we're going to look at partial products in this example to multiply by a multi-digit number. And example 1 says, today is Laura's birthday and she is 9 years old. Except for leap years, there are 365 days in 1 year. How many days old is Laura? So very first thing we need to do is underline our numbers. So I'm going to go ahead and underline my numbers. She is 9 years old. So I underline the word 9. 365 days and 1 year. Then the next thing I need to do is circle my question. How many days old is Laura? So what I'm trying to do is find 365 times 9, the 365 days in each year for 9 whole years. Before I solve it, I'm going to estimate to see if my answer is close, because that's one way I can check my work. So I know 365 is closer to 400 than 300, and I'm just trying to get an estimate, so I'm going to say that it's 400. Remember that you are writing along as I am doing this on the video today. So I'm trying to find 9 times 400. I know that 9 times 4 is 36. So I'm going to do that first. And then like I learned, I've got 2 zeros here, which means I need to have 2 zeros here. So I have 2 zeros, which makes my answer 3,600. So 9 times 365 is going to be pretty close to 3,600. Now I can actually solve. And like I did with my base 10 blocks, I counted up my ones first. So I'm going to start by multiplying my ones first also. So if I look here at my area model, I have my hundreds, my tens, and my ones. And I see that I have 5 ones, and I can verify that here. There are 5 ones. So I go all the way over here, and I do 9 times 5. When I multiply 9 times 5, I get 45. And now I've done this part of the array, so I'm going to check it off. Yep, I did my ones. Now I'm not done yet. I've got these 2 parts of my array left, and I have these 2 parts of my problem left. So I'm going to use a different color to model my tens. I have 6 tens, which means over here I have 60, and again 9. So when I do my 6 tens or 60 times 9, I get 9 times 6, which is 54. I put my 0 at the end because I'm actually doing 9 times 6 tens. So I get 540. And then I can check this box off because I've done this array. And lastly, I have my hundreds here. And so I'm going to draw yet another line over here because I need to multiply my 300 times 9. So I have 3 times 9, which is 27 hundreds, or 2,700. So I write 2,700. Now, I'm not going to say my answer is 45, 540, 2,700. I'm going to add those up. I'm going to add up my partial product. So I have 5 plus 0 plus 0, which is 5. I have 4 plus 4 plus 0. 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 plus 0 is still 8. I have 5 plus 7, and 5 plus 7 is going to be 12. So I put a 2 in my hundreds place. I bring over the 1 because I can't put a 12 in the same digit. And then I have 1 plus 2. And that gives me 3. So my math should come out to 3,285. So how many days old is Laura? We saw that Laura was actually 3,285 days old. And for those of you on your 9th birthday, that's about how many days old you are too. Now I'm not done. If I see here, I still need to check for reasonableness. So my product, 3,285, was pretty close to my estimate because my estimate was 3,600. So I know I did my math right. I got an estimate in the 3,000s. I got an answer in the 3,000s. At this point, you can turn your page over to the other side where we're on example 2. Now in example 2, we're going to do this without the area model, but we're going to do the same steps. So on example 2, it just wants us to find 3 times 1,175. And if you've multiplied 1 digit by 2 digit or 3 digit, you can definitely do this 4 digit. So step 1 says I need to multiply the ones. So I have 3 times 5 ones, and that gives me 15 ones. Now, as we know, I can't write 15 in the ones place, so I write a 5 in the ones place because I still get to keep my 5 ones. But just like with my base 10 blocks, I would trade in the other 10 for a tens rod instead. So I'm going to now regroup that. I've done step 1. I'm going to check it off. Step 2 says multiply the tens. So I have 3 groups of 7 tens. So I have 3 times 7, and that's 21. Now, remember, I still traded in and got that extra 1 tens rod. So now I have 21 and 1 more. And I see here that I have 21 tens plus 1 tens. And that gives me 22 tens. Again, I can't write 22 in my tens place. So I have 2 tens and 22 tens, or 220. And then I now have to trade in 2 for the 2 and the 22, the first one, as 200s. Now I have 3 times 100. So that's 300. I have 2 more hundreds to add. So that's 300, 400, 500. So I have a 5 in my hundreds place. Last, and I can check off step 2. Oop, I guess we're really zoomed in, so I check off step 2. I don't know what I did. So squeeze back out. Zoom out. There we go. And I check off step 3. Yep, I multiplied my hundreds. Lastly, I need to multiply my thousands. So now I have 3 times 1,000. And 3 times 1,000 is going to give me 3 in the thousands. I can check off step 4. So I see that 1,175 times 3 equals 3,525. Now, in the guided practice, I'm going to explain number 1 to you, and I want you to do number 2 on your own. So I'm going to multiply and check for reasonableness. So here I have 2 times 5. I know that's 10, so I'm going to put a 0 in my ones place. And I bring the 1 to the tens place because I have to regroup. Then I have 2 times 3. 2 times 3, or 3 tens really, is 6 tens, 7 tens when I add that extra 1 that I'd already regrouped. Then I have 2 times 100, which gives me 2 in the hundreds place. Now, at this point, I want you to do number 2 all on your own. All right, after that, you're going to go ahead, you're going to do the worksheet that's in your folder also. Have a wonderful day. You know my expectations, meet them.